Viego essentially became synonymous with TN when we look back in spring, so now starting to open up his champion pool a lot. I'm expecting high things from him.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what they end up going for. We are going to jump into picks and bans. Corki going to be banned away here from Strife. Still one of his most comfortable champions. Of course, what he popped on when I always think about the instant triple kill that we had in game number 1 against like, the spring of 2022. But the Rakan taken away as well. You see the Zeri, the Senna. A lot of bot lane focus coming out here from RA as they look to try and maybe make sure they don't get anything going for them. And again, that early game Poppy play, you talked about it just there. We actually saw an interview with Tarzan the other day, actually, where he said that Poppy probably feels like right now the most powerful early game jungler. So with that off the board, we'll see what teams want to go for. And again, Top Esports kind of saying, look, we're going to go for aggression. We're looking for those big team fights. We're going to go with the Renata.
Yeah, I love the Renata pick. I think she's just so insanely strong as a support right now. Fits with a lot of different styles, and even if Rare Adam want to take the Kalista pairing away from it, you can still go towards things like the Aphelios, which works out spectacularly. Actually does pretty well in lane against the Kalista, and then you've got the Renata that lets this Aphelios just go absolutely ham in these team fights. So Rare Adam going to take that Kalista. I imagine we'll look towards a jungler here for them as well to make sure that they're completely safe. And we'll probably see the Amumu taken at some stage here to pair alongside Yu Yanji with the Kalista, but they're going to take the Taliyah for the moment.
And I love this from Rare Adam. They're kind of saying, like, we talked about a little bit of the scaling options available to the maybe the lower down teams or bottom 7 as such, but Rare Adam are saying, no, we're going to go toe-to-toe. We're looking to try and say, because if we play standard, we're probably going to lose anyway, so might as well throw everything at this top side. But Draven, a excellent counter into something like the Kalista. Aggression with aggression.
Yeah, I just don't know if Jackilove's very familiar with this
Yeah,
champion. I don't know if he's played it before, but yeah, I think
Don't think there's any famous clips in finals or anything like that. Nah.
So I think with the Nara as well, it sets up for a strong team fight. You got some decent engage, but I think they're going to need to add a little bit more with TN, or maybe even with Knight if he's looking at something like Lissandra that can set them up. Lissandra can actually do relatively well in the push against that Taliyah if Strive is going to take them in the mid lane. And then as well, you're able to lean in towards, hey, I can be a follow-up engage tool or even be the primary engage tool for top esports, which I think they're severely lacking right now.
Yeah, well, they've got the engage on the side of Rare Adam for sure. You have the Amumu, plenty of CC there. Of course, the follow-up as well with the seismic shove coming out from the Taliyah. Very nicely set up there for them. And for top esports, like you said, you're dealing with not pseudo engage, but definitely situational engage. You're waiting for the Nar to get up to his mega. And well, honestly, I would love to see them kind of just give Wayward a little bit of an easier lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see things like the Gwen banned away. Cube has played the Jax almost exclusively. He's blind picked it into so many different things. So something like, the Jax and the Gwen should be banned away here.
And here's the thing, right? Like, they are going to ban the Jax and the Gwen, as you were kind of, well, Jax at least, more than likely going to be the Gwen. But my biggest question was whether they wanted to maybe look at a couple more junglers, just because junglers have not been picked up on either side thus far as you imagine, but you do have the opportunity to swap that Taliyah in towards the jungle if you want to, pick up an AD mid laner for Strive. So I like that Rare Adam at the moment. They can go towards, hey, we're going to take our top lane pick for Cube, know that we're going to end up with a nice counter matchup there because we see the Nar, and you can always hold on to that flex pick right until the end, which is going to be massively beneficial for this red side team.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we talked about it very briefly there coming into this game, but for Rare Adam specifically, it has been Leyen or bust. They put a lot of resource into him. He has been very much at the forefront of the focus of what they've been able to try and do well. And with things like the Trundle and the Poppy band, they're going to end up kind of going for it. I actually don't mind this at all because it is Cube's third most played champion this split.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very popular one. The other one that was standing out in my mind, you already mentioned the Gwen, but Gangplank as well. Always a potential here if you want to try and go for it. And I think that could be really strong against things like the Draven, just in being able to control him, lading yourself up to these semi-globals alongside the Taliyah. But it looks like they're not going to hold on to the counter pick. Anyway, they're just going to go straight for the Viego for Leyen, which means I'm curious to see now what TN wants to try and pick into this. Lee Sin has kind of been the main one. Great pick for TN in general as well. Can try and help out in providing some of that engage tool. And it looks like Knight is just going to go, hey, you know what? That Amumu looks real tasty right now. Why don't I just get a bit of that?
Yeah, exactly. It's something that we talked about. If you look at Top Esports versus EDG, it was banned every single game against them on the red side. So this was, except right up until the end where Top Esports let it through so they can get something like the Taliyah themselves. So we are going to see now it's Knight on that silence. Of course, plenty of examples of how incredibly strong he is on this pick. But Hecarim being hovered here, I don't really see it happening because, again, I was just thinking there's a lot of better options still available to you.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. Like, there is a build floating about with, like, the Manamune and all that kind of stuff. But, no, actually going to go across towards the Vi instead. So just looking for that point-and-click CC to try and lock down iBoy. And we kind of already talked about how much we saw these two teams play around bot side back in spring. I mean, we're setting up for a brawl on this bottom side of the map. You got the Vi, Draven, who both like to be hyper-aggressive in the early stages. You got great setup coming through with the Renata as well. And on the opposite side, Kalista, Amumu. Like, how do you not want to go in and engage with this style?
Yeah, well, it looks like they're going to be adding a little bit more into that. But no, they're going to swap at the last second there from Gwen to the Tryndamere. And we're seeing Tryndamere kind of, we actually saw him yesterday as well. He's sneaking his way back up into priority right now. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts on that in general are.
Well, he does super well against things like the Gnar, because very similar to what we saw Tryndamere rise up in the Graves matchup, you just able to chase this guy down very easily. When Gnar is in mini form, you're able to look for tower dives. You've got the invulnerability coming through with their ultimate as well. That makes it fantastic. So it makes everything that little bit easier. You get great chances to try and farm up. You've got great trading patterns, especially when you are able to close the gap onto the mini Gnar. So things just are quite easy for the Tryndamere in that matchup. And as well, now you get the opportunity to try and play through side lanes really effectively as Rare Adam, right? You've got the Talia there that can do a lot of work in one side. You've got the Tryndamere that is pretty much going to be unstoppable in the other. And even when you get towards team fights, Tryndamere can still be very helpful because he's got Gale Force. He's got the threat on towards the Draven. And Draven's big kind of source of safety is, I kill you before you get to me. Tryndamere doesn't die, so he always gets to you.
Yeah, you just end up kind of becoming an absolute nuisance right on top of your face. But I actually, just looking at the kind of the drafts holistically, I really like what Rare Adam have kind of brought into this. They've got the early skirmishing, they've got big teamfight ultimates to be able to kind of go toe-to-toe. It comes down to execution on that, where I'm a little bit more wayward. But honestly, it does feel like they're kind of saying to Top Esports, look, we're not going to roll over and die. We are going to try and bring this fight to you as best we can.
I mean, yeah, both sides very early game focused, right? Draven wants to try and get up and rolling. Great mid-game spiking composition from both Vi and the Silas. You want to look for early skirmishes, early duels on Top Esports side. And for Rare Adam, we kind of said, look, Kalista wants to get rolling in the early stages. Talia wants to get active in the early stages. So this should be an all-out brawl on both sides.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. No more theories, no more hypothesizing. We are jumping onto the Rift. Game 1 of this best of 3 between Top Esports and Rare Atom. And you can see Top Esports, they're prepared for what could have been a level 1 invade, because it looks like they've done a bit of homework.
Yeah, it looks like they're just waiting here to see what the plan is going to be. I was distracted because Wayward had already started off the emote game strong, getting the question mark frog off as soon as we got into the game.
Never know when they're watching.
Timing on
they
that.
never know when they're
watching. I mean,
watching.
great timing, realistically. And this is why he is the emote master.
Yeah.
But that's my analysis of the emote game as we start to see what's happening. Okay. Who's that? Oh, Vi.
Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. You don't really want to be chucking a Renata in. If Renata's already in a position to be caught out, she's not really going to give you a lot of work anyway. So the Vi actually makes a lot of sense. It means that TN should have post level 6 the confidence to go in with the cease and desist ultimate and then be able to kind of push themselves back. But Rare Adam, they're still going to go for a level 1, but it looks like it's going to be on this top side of it. So they're already going to be able to sweep that out. They know they've been caught out. And now they can just kind of continue in to put this bot lane ahead. But oh, we've seen this before. There's a Fiesta level 1. It looks like they're going to go for the Raptors instead. Yeah, this is really smart from Leanne, because you can hit level 2 of the Raptors, have an advantage. So that's why Top Esports. Mark flashes in, gets himself the handshake. We're going to see Leanne flashing away. So does Yu Yanja. But look at the spears coming in. iBoy gets first blood. That's huge there for the Kalista. Now can he keep kiting? He does have flash available, does use his heal as the rest of Top Esports are here. Wayward is here. Wayward is not topside, and now he has to start TPing because he's already losing. TN flashes forward to try and make this one work, but the bandage toss kind of stops him in his tracks. RA finding a great advantage, and they're not quite done yet as iBoy keep putting in the spears. One more auto attack, not quite able to get it. He cancelled it just before the brush, but it ends up going down, so they trade it back.
And that's the problem with Kalista's martial poise. If you lose vision on the person, the auto attack doesn't go through. And just there, iBoy isn't able to get that last auto attack on TN because he makes it to the bush and overextends. And what had worked out so well in being 1 kill as an advantage for iBoy now gets tossed away. But we're catching in the replay. They see the TP going through because the ward that's in the bush, so they know that this is going to be a numbers, well, a little bit of an easier fight coming through with the 3v2, but this is just an overextension. But watch here, as TN hits the bush, the auto attack gets cancelled. So martial poise doesn't count there because of the passive on the Kalista, which means that you actually survive there as TN.
That is heartbreaking. And for RA, honestly, they played that invade so exceptionally well. They got, well, I'll stop myself.
Boy.
We're going to look for a bit of an invade, but already you can see Jackie Love and Mark saying not going to be happening. But again, like, let's just talk about how well that dive from RA worked out for them, because at the end of it all, you're looking at Cube getting basically free time in topside. They didn't fully commit to a red buff, which Top Esports were aware of and ready for, forcing Top Esports to use multiple flashes, if not all, to try and make something happen that just wasn't going to work for them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Rare Adam's topside did fantastically. iBoy actually ended up falling slightly behind here, though, because what you're going to see is behind in CS, because he missed the initial few waves, you're also going to have a greater reset here for JackieLove. Like, they were thinking of resetting off that initially. Now they're like, hey, look, if I can save up a little bit, I can look towards a pickaxe, I can look towards something that's going to give me a little bit more damage in this lane. And suddenly that bot side becomes a little bit more difficult for them to manage. So I think that's where I'm going to see if, at least at the moment, Rare Adam can try and put those resources into the bottom side, which is why we already saw the roam from Strive. We saw Leon trying to get in towards the bot side. But I'm just excited that exactly what we're talking about, bot side action is already where this game is going.
Absolutely. And again, I got to give praise to Rare Adam, because they're not playing standard. They're going at it Top Esports, and Top Esports kind of a little bit off kilter. You don't have flashes now for the first few minutes of the game. You have to wait till they come back up. You don't really know where the enemy team. You can even see on the top side there, because of Cube having that priority, he goes, cool, I'm going to invade on blue buff, stop TN from having a decent time now. So little things like that to just going to equal up for Adam. I will say, though, like you said, in that bot lane, JackieLove on something like a Draven, getting that early kill and getting that early advantages is going to be very hard to try and contain, especially as the game goes on.
And that's the thing. I actually thought this was a really well orchestrated initial invade coming through from Rare Adam. You look at the way they set it up, they go straight towards the Raptors. You actually are able to kill the Raptors incredibly easy as a Viego, because you're able to Q through them. You get your passive auto attack proc on every single minion. You can very quickly hit level 2, and now you've got a massive advantage because you just have more abilities on your side to be able to take that fight. But the problem started where we saw iBoy go that little bit aggressive. So he overextends, you give the kill to JackieLove. Now you're 1 for 1 on kills, but JackieLove just gets to take that entire wave, clean it out, and then have a better reset. So he's going back with more money. So he's going to be able to answer already the longsword that the Kalista came back into lane with, but he's only going to have even more as well. So I think iBoy and Yuyanja just getting that little bit over aggressive, and that's what we're talking about, where genius needs madness, because it can go a bit haywire. I mean, sometimes with these players.
It's literally the difference of an auto attack. It's like if you go 2 kills up and you die then, or whatever it is, like, you're kind of not feeling too terrible about it, because you're like, you know what, it's fine. I've literally picked up about 700 gold. I'm going to go back, get myself something nice to, kind of the guts of it, even something like a High Noon Quiver or something like that. Be much more powerful in the game and be able to survive it off of that. But sadly, it doesn't quite come up for it. And it is those small little margins. I think that separates from good to great, is that people like the likes of V5, Top Esports, and even, kind of a player level of such, of like, Rookie and Knight and stuff, can make the slimmest of margins look like the most OP of moments, because that's all they needed. They needed the tiniest window just to sneak themselves in and get an advantage, whereas other teams, sadly, it just doesn't execute for them. And sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's execution, sometimes it's both.
Yeah, and that's why we're going to have to see if Rare Adam can try and bring this one back around for themselves as we get ourselves back into the game. But I wouldn't be surprised if this wave on bot side crashes once more. Tien will be completely forced out of this top side, though, with Cube, because Cube, having the push in top side, just teetered in towards this top side jungle, which meant Tien had to back away from his blue buff, and he's actually going to lose it to Lien. So for Top Esports, as we said, the top half of the map not going so hot for them right now with how Rare Adam are playing.
Yeah, very, very nicely done here by Rare Adam. And again, it's a lot on Leyen. I think Leyen kind of containing TN will be a big benefactor to the side of RA. As we can see there, Abscond of Duck not going to land there onto Strife, but TN is in this mid lane, doesn't have flash, so we're not going to see the Assault and Battery flash combination as Strife looks to just reset this wave and should just get himself back out onto the lane.
Yeah, we're trying to see if they could get Knight to abscond past the minions and then maybe look for the abduct, but not quite able to find it. So Tien trying to put on the back foot here, and level 6 is incredibly crucial for the buy. But Cube, I mean, already starting to bully Wayward in this top side. I
mean, this is the thing. He's got the Ghost Summoner there. He knows that there's no teleport on Wayward, so Wayward really wants to try and reset this wave as much as he possibly can, because he's in a bad situation. He is on a 30-second to 40-second reset when he has to go back.
Yeah, I mean, this is where you're going to start to see if Cube can use the early advantage he got, like already a 10 CS lead for himself, and all that coming from the fact that Wayward had to TP up to the top side. It also helps out with Cube, because Cube not running the teleport means that he's able to get into a far better position, because he's not been, having to play around Wayward's teleport in these early stages. He can trade very aggressively, reset, and walk back to lane without having to worry too much about Wayward getting advantages through the TP.
Yeah, and I love this from TN right now, because he's just kind of covering his bot side just in case Lien was hovering, but the graphic pops up on the bottom half there. We actually did see that you've already got a serrated Dirk here onto Jackie Love, so that bot lane, the kill potential on the side of top esports is huge. However, it's such a catch-22, or not catch-22, but it's like a double-edged sword. If you land it, holy moly, are they going to take some damage. But if it ends up getting bounced back onto you, that's where this bot lane gets a little bit more dicey, shall we say. But it looks like Rare Adam aren't going to go for any crazy dives at the moment. They're going to try and just clear out this bot side vision, go for this early dragon, get that objective stacking early.
And I imagine because Jackie Love has this early serrated Dirk, we're going to see the CS league grow substantially in this bottom side. It becomes really hard for iBoy to trade because a lot of iBoy's trade pattern is put the spears into the minions, Q on to Jackie Love, and then try and trade back. But if you're leaping forward like that, it's very easy for Jackie Love then to start trading aggressively back on you, and you have to be so careful about how quickly that damage, as you say, can be turned around by Jackie Love. It's nice though that Rare Adam already got that early dragon, just finding a nice moment there with Strive having push in mid, because we talked about how top esports love to use these early objectives to kind of set up for mid-game fights, especially with the compositions as they are, but also just finding these early skirmishes that tend to snowball their leads.
Yeah, bandage toss missing out there from Yuyanja just very briefly, but yeah, it's going to be hard. You can see that the wave's pushing in now as RA really want to try and push that one in, try and get it reset, but Tien already knows this, so Tien's in the vicinity to say, look, I'm available should they go super aggressive. They've got the Amumu. They need to be very, very careful. It's a long sword, or basically a serrated Dirk difference in this bot side, as we can see now. iBoy just really trying to get those Ren stacks in, should be able to get it off, and Yuyanja, just use your Spider Sense, buddy. You're on a Mumu. Don't go in on that.
I'm not going to lie, he looked at where Mark was positioned and was like, yeah, this seems a little too easy.
Is it low-hanging fruit, or am I just going to be a god?
Yeah, so we'll kind of just back away from that one, not wanting to push their advantages too much. But Leon now trying to move up towards this top side. Again, just trying to make sure that he can try and cover Cube. So for the moment on Rare Adam's side, you're pretty happy with the way top and mid are going. I'd expect Leon to try and start using Strive now that he has the level 6 though, to look for plays on this bottom side. Even just one, kill Draven, so then you don't have to worry about him mega stacking up on the adoration stacks, even giving extra damage to his ult. And then as well, just trying to make sure that you can use the effect. You have such a massive advantage in the jungler situation. The end level 6 to level 5, I mean, doubled the CS nearly of his counterpart as Tien, spending a lot of time down on this bottom side to try and help out, but is falling behind as a result.
Yeah, like you can see what Tien's trying to do, but especially for something like the Vi, without having that flash early to kind of close that extra little bit of distance with your assault and battery, it's very difficult to actually make things set up because your CC is so telegraphed. You are literally charging back your fist to kind of go, I'm coming for you. You can very easily back away from it, but now that the reset and comes in for the flashes and stuff, we should see that both sides start to pick up some better advantages now in the game.
And I mean, it feels like Knight is definitely going to need to try and use this Kalista ultimate to save Tien a couple of times, because with how squishy he is, with how far he's behind, it's not going to be a fun time for Tien every time he comes in. Just going to end up running headfirst into a ton of damage pretty much across the board on Rare Adam. A heap of CC as well, and it's just going to be an unfun time for the fight.
We're going to have a splash into the handshake here as iBoy, yeah, he's dead. There's nothing he can really do about that. He does use the heal, but keeps his own flash. Yuyanja went a little bit too deep trying to save his AD carry, and honestly, this has kind of been the story for RA this split. I feel like iBoy just kind of doesn't really respect where his opposition is going to be, and now that you didn't have to commit Tien towards that bot side to make that play happen, you can contest here on the Rift Herald.
Yeah, they're going to start moving both supports up, but level 6 for Mark could be crucial if they can get here for the fight.
Yeah, we're going to see them now. Tien coming in. They have stolen away the Heartbreakers. The Smite does secure it. Now they can try and maybe run down Knight, who has to Heartbreaker over the wall. So just good, strong top side from RA, kind of muscling them out. Honestly, Wayward wasn't even a part of that. He needed to farm.
But that's the thing, right? We talked about kind of this separation on the map, the dichotomy of the map, where Rare Adam have a ton of advantages in their solo laners, whereas you're looking at the AD carry for top esports being that big difference maker. So I think we'll see Rare Adam win out on this one, but now they've got to try and use this Rift Herald creatively to avoid top esports being able to fight at the Dragon in a minute and a half's time, because if Jackie Love is able to get that reset off, he can spend gold, but he might have some company.
Hex flash from Yuyanja. We can see there it's going to be the Executioner's call coming in now to try and get rid of that one, but Jackie Love has to flash. So I really love this play from Rare Adam. They're saying, look, the bot lane for us isn't going very well. We've got a Rift Herald. We can force out summoners and maybe even force out a couple of plates here for the side of iBoy.
Yeah, and it should even up just the discrepancy on the gold and on the CS department. in that bottom side of the map a smidge, but JackeyLove is still huge. First Mythic already completed at the 10-minute mark. Sheen alongside it as well, and he's got a perfect reset, essentially being forced on him, but it is there for the Dragon as well, so he gets to shove out bot wave and should be here then for the next fight. iBoy will be able to get a play for himself, which will be nice and try to help him, but JackeyLove is just going to be huge as long as he's safe in this fight.
Yeah, I think the big thing we're going to be looking at now is Uyanja. If Uyanja can land constant CC on the JackeyLove, because remember, yes, JackeyLove does have a cleanse, but 2 bandage tosses and all of a sudden he's in a bad situation.
I think, honestly, you give up this as Rare Adam. I think your best bet is to actually move Lian with that Rift Herald up towards the top side, give a ton of that gold across the cube, and trying to create this side pressure for Rare Adam so then they can abuse side lanes and use those advantages rather than having to deal with JackeyLove, because right now JackeyLove is just going to be absolutely monstrous. And I do agree, you've got bandage tosses, but you don't have the ultimate yet, which should be hit by Uyanja on this wave, but it just feels like there's no real follow-up if JackeyLove is positioned correctly.
Yeah, I'm going to try and find Knight here, just trades him back, but it looks like they will listen to your words of wisdom, Dagda, and kind of say, look, we're not strong enough even close in this bot side. You don't quite have the ultimate yet for them, but they are kind of pushing in. You can see there that they were looking to maybe go for something on the top side here where Adam, but not really in position as Cube had just taken a reset and gets himself back up into the top lane.
Yeah, I think Cube will probably just try and clear it this wave very quickly. You're going to see Lian take these top side camps, move up to that top side, drop the Rift Herald, and try and abuse the fact that they believe Wayward has gone for a reset, but Wayward actually just kind of teetering out of vision, so should be up here, which honestly may actually be a bit of a problem for him if Strive starts to join in the equation on this top end.
Yeah, and already we can see just the power of this Draven coming out here. The handshake will be good there. Uyanja loses about half his HP, and that's the kind of power you have with the Renata, especially with that passive giving you those extra little procs of damage.
And I want to feel sorry for iBoy in this one, but he kind of did it to himself with that initial play. Like, they actually had the big win on the bot side. All they need to do is go to lane and play it out, but unfortunately got a bit greedy, and now JackeyLove and Mark are abusing this bot lane. The fact you have the Sheen as well means that JackeyLove is going to very quickly start to get through this tower. You can just spam the W with every axe that he picks up. Uyanja threatening, but I mean, it's like a little chihuahua kind of barking at you at this stage.
Yeah, you know, if he does get his teeth into you, it'll be like, ow, but it won't be anything to go to the hospital with. It won't be anything too substantial, but now we're going to see the Rift Herald being dropped into the mid lane. I always like this play. I always like the idea of kind of setting yourself up for success here. They will pick themselves up at least 3 plates, but they've got Mark coming up here alongside Tien. They won't land the Assault and Battery, but there's going to be the ultimates coming out. They actually kind of whiff everything, and the only thing they gain is Strive's Flash.
And that's the problem with trying to use this Rift Herald in the mid lane, is because JackeyLove and Mark are playing so well around this bottom side, if they have an advantage, they can move up into the mid lane and try and shut this play down. That's what I was kind of saying. I wanted to see this traded into the top side for Cube. You're creating the biggest distance from the bottom half of the map, and you're also getting Cube massively far ahead in this matchup, which is always just going to go well for Rare Adam. But looks like at the moment anyway, some of those plates will go to Strive, they will go to Lian, but not being able to crack up in any of these turrets gives a little bit more time for top esports to continue playing around JackeyLove. And right now, we actually don't see Lian trying to help out either the solo laners realistically in abusing their leads further.
Well, they do know that Uyanja is hovering off into the side, so it's still a gold lead. It's a small gold lead, but it's still a gold lead for the side of Rare Adam. They're getting a couple of plates over here to iBoy, so with that Immortal Shield, Bowie's still feeling pretty well. Tien is there into the mid and the top side, but I think Cube should be able to get his recall off. There's no TP, and ooh, Cube, he might try and get greedy here, but it will be very difficult to make this one stick. You don't have Mega Nard just yet, but you are getting some decent damage here as Wayward.
I mean, at least getting some turret plates is going to be nice, but they can't really go for the dive because of the ultimate on Cube, so they will just back away instead. You're also getting at least a little bit of invade on the bottom side here for Rare Adam, where Uyanja did manage to get some deep vision, which is going to be nice in trying to spot it where Tien is, because Tien still sitting pretty far behind in terms of experience when it comes towards Lian. So at least being able to try and match that as Lian can help out, but realistically, I need to see Lian starting to get into the action. Like, we've been waiting for him for a long time. Same when you kind of look at Strive. Like, Lian can gank mid, unlock Strive, move to this bottom side, correct some of the damage that's been done there, but we're just not seeing it, and JackeyLove is getting all this free time to just continuously push in the wave and look at this tower without actually feeling under any real threat.
That's the big thing as well. Like, you look at the top side as well, you've got, 10 or so CS lead in the top lane, 30 or so into the jungle, 20 in the mid lane, and it feels like you're not really utilizing those advantages to kind of make advantages elsewhere now that there's going to be a free tower basically for top esports in this bot side. minute 20 till Dragon, 20 seconds or just a little bit over 10 seconds until the Rift Herald. This is where the game starts to get a little bit more sporadic, a little bit more about execution rather than anything else.
Yeah, at least Leon did get to stop the back there for Knight, so they will be able to get that mid lane turret as Knight can't TP back in. So at least it's something as Yanji now trying to see what he can set up. But, oh, nice job by Tien to get over that wall instantly.
Yeah, only lost his Q as well, so you do not have the curse of the Sad Mummy here for Yuyanja, and that's a big team fight. Ultimate now no longer available for potentially a Rift Hell fight.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like you're really in a position to fight. This is top esports. Jackie Love is lagging behind a little bit, but maybe they're just looking for the afters.
I mean, you could just go up towards top side here as the side of RA. You know that Wayward's nowhere near his Mega, so he's not really in a CCing position, and then go for the big reset.
The thing is, though, they've forced Rare Adam into this top side, so I don't think they're actually looking for the fight.
Oh my God.
They're looking for Jackie Love to just be able to take that mid lane turret, and they're looking for any stragglers who are considering walking through the jungle to try and protect this mid lane turret. This is just a really nice trap set up by top esports, but Rare Adam aren't taking the bait.
I mean, iBoy was very close to being caught out there. We will see now Wayward jumping in on top of Strife, and they will not land the Everfrost here, so this is a bad dive all of a sudden. They're taking a hell of a lot of damage. It's going to need 3 people to try and take him out, but he'll use the seismic shove and clear the wave. So now Mark's going to have to tank it up. He goes golden by even more time, and they're still trying to look for this one, but they can't. Strive now bringing a 4th member of top esports over to him. The Weaver's wall. He didn't aim it correctly as the ultimate from the Vi ends up getting him down. It's a shutdown going over to Jackie Love as Jackie Love is getting massive.
But look at the mid lane. They already had the Rift Herald picked up for Rare Adam, so they're getting the mid tower. They break a second. They get a charge onto this bot lane turret as well. And look at the bot side. Cube as well, also in a position to start taking more towers. So massive win for Rare Adam off the back of Strive, taking so long to go down.
I mean, Strive did absolutely everything in his power. Didn't even use his flash. He still has that available to him, but it is going to be a trade-off of 2 towers, if not 3 towers for 1, and just the 1 kill. And that just keeps the gold relatively equal, and they get a dragon as well. This is actually great across the board here for Rare Adam.
Big win for Rare Adam, and as we can start to see, like, as this game goes on, Strive can again move in towards these side lanes. You're still getting Tryndamere in a pretty good spot. The only problem is, of course, that Jackie Love was the one to pick this up, but as you said, unfortunate for Strive, misangled that just slightly, so got caught on the wall, which meant that Jackie Love, with the point-and-click CC from Tien, was able to grab that kill.
Now Jackie Love sitting on an Essence Reaver alongside that Eclipse. This man is massive, but I will say outside of his cleanse and his flash, of course, he hasn't really got a lot of escapability. If the side of Rare can get on top of him, he will go down quickly.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's not a huge amount of dive on Rare Adam apart from Q. Like, this is a short-range composition, but if Jackie Love is actually positioned behind his front line, it's very difficult to gain access to him, especially when you look at how good Renata is in this situation.
Nice.
Like, the ability to shield, to knock back, to take over, but Knight may need to get out of here.
No, he's going straight into danger because Knight likes to try and do things his way. He goes gold, and that's going to break his stopwatch. He has got the Everfrost, but nowhere else to kind of use it, and that's going to be a nice and easy kill being picked up here from Rare Adam. Really good opportunistic moment there to try and just make sure, look, they're not expecting us, they have no vision, we can make this work.
Yeah, Knight just walking through. Hang on, Tien might be in trouble.
Tien's in a lot of trouble. He's going to have the Weaver's wall stopping him from going anywhere. This is fantastic from Rare Adam. Guess what? You don't have to deal with Jackie Love if you don't have to fight him.
And they just end up catching. Oh, hang on, we're still going here.
No.
3v, what?
They're going in. iBoy's trying to run away from here. He's going to have to flash. Oh, no,
Nice.
he has got the martial pose, so he's going to be at the behind. But yeah, they try and put 3 people topside. And again, we're kind of seeing Q being on his own. Strive and Leanne, you just saw 2 people on this top side. You know they're going to be coming in on top of you here. This is a little bit of an overstep right now. And honestly, I'm not surprised you're going to be taken down here. This was unnecessary from RA after they've done so well.
I was about to praise Rare Adam and say that was really smart play. You get the pick on Knight, transition that into a pick on Tien. It's all going spectacularly, but as you say, Leanna's drive just way overextend after seeing exactly where top esports are. Cube isn't even in a position to try and really get much on this bottom side, because all he can do is get a couple of love taps on this bot lane turret, although iBoy's here as well. That's the thing, like, the wave was so far back, you were in a massive winning position there, and you've equaled up the goal spectacularly, but just a couple of errors coming through from Rare Adam have really hurt them.
Yeah, like, again, great start to this. They already picked off Knight. They kind of see Tien and say, look, he's nowhere to go. We can just CC him in, and then great Weaver's Wall to lock him in place. But at this point, once you see the rest of top esports come up here, especially as Leon and Strife, just get out.
Yeah, I really don't understand it. Like, it's just greedy. Like, if the wave is being pushed out like the position it's in, you can just back away, but for whatever reason, they decide to push the wave. Top Esports were already in position, and the second they see the TP come through, they realize they've made a massive mistake, but it's too late. You've already overextended.
Yeah, you've already way overextended there, and that's again, good moments that lead to bad. Unfortunately for RA, it would have been great to get the reset out. They get back out into the map. They push back the waves. A lot of different things could have went their way, but sadly for them, they do find themselves only about 800 gold in the hole, so it's not exceptionally far behind. But when I look at the item differential, you do actually have 2 items here onto iBoy, so he's at a significant spike, but the Draven is just so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, in a 1v1 scenario, iBoy is just not going to be able to match Jackie Love's damage. But the big thing is, like, how much time Cube can take on with his ultimate is going to give a little bit of breathing room for Rare Adam if they decide to go for the 5v5 fights. I like the Gale Force being picked up first by Cube here as well, because it does mean he's a little bit more of a threat in team fights when there's so much appeal coming through from the likes of Mark for Jackie Love.
Now we see Wayward pushing it onto Cube. He's got 2 items now, does Wayward, so you can see that this Gnar is finally at a point of which he's very powerful and needs to be respected by the Tryndamere, or so by this, yes, by the Tryndamere, but we've seen him now going for a full engage. There's going to be the hostile takeover across pretty much everybody, and it's a great little move there, but look at iBoy kind of creating time here. The Fate's Call will push him back onto Wayward as Cube is just going in to go down, as iBoy trying to do his best, but he has to start running away because he's nowhere in a position to fight this, and this is what Top Esports do. You give them an inch, they take a mile.
And we said it in Champ Select, all Knight was looking for was Yuyanja's ultimate, and he gets a beautiful one in that engage, and that should be the Baron now for Top Esports.
21.5 minutes, and this is the thing, we can praise RA for their early game, we can praise them for all the different moves they were making to put Top Esports behind. Top Esports are just a different level. Again, one moment, the team fight execution, just exceptional as we look at this one here, because again, this is just them clearing a ward, and TN says, no, go, we can fight this.
Yeah, and it's perfect for Knight. You can see here, right, takes the Amumu ult, got the engage coming through from TN, flash forward, gets several people, Mark gets the ultimate going across everyone as well, and Wayward, perfect flanking spot. Like, this fight was gorgeous from Top Esports, and again, like, how do you try and fight back here as Rare Adam? The main threat was Jackie Love in this equation, and he's still a full health the entire way through this fight.
Yeah, he wasn't touched basically in that entire thing, and that's what TN is in the Vi. That's why we've seen the Vi being cropped up a little bit so far in this, you know, in this meta, is because when you don't have the Wukong, it's just a very good CC bot to kind of go into fights.
It's very good at just pointing, clicking on towards these ball lady carries as well, and Tien going to be looking for that again.
Yeah, here we go. He's going straight in. There's going to be the cease and desist to get it in there with the whirling death. Tien trades his life, but I think Top Esports going to take that very, very kindly as they look to try and take down the rest of this one. It's a double kill coming in for Jackie Love as he's pushing down onto iBoy. One more auto attack will bring him down, and Knight makes it a 3-for-1. Rare Adam, yes, they get themselves on the soul point, but you can just see how far and away this bot lane of Top Esports is. They're just running them down.
Yeah, Tien's life for the Top Esports fire. That's exactly what they needed. Just an engage to get the party started. They find one more, and Tien is an unwelcome guest in Top Esports' new jungle.
Yeah, Top Esports saying, this is our land now. We got the deeds as Knight puts down some serious orders of releasing that land to them, and that's going to be pushing in the mid lane, top lane, bot lane. They've got pretty much anything. You've got a rapid fire cannon here onto Jackie Love's Draven. Like, he's going towards that Infinity Edge. He's going to be so huge.
And even the stopwatch, in case,
just
by
in
some
case.
miracle, Rare Adam happened to get through onto the back line, but I really just don't see it happening. 13-5, a 6,000 gold lead opening up for themselves as well. They've already got, well, they got a while to go on Dragons, but with the Baron available to them already, they're getting so much more gold into their back pocket. Every outer turret looks like it's going to fall with this push.
Yeah.
Look at the Baron gold. They picked up 5,000 off of just this one play.
Yeah, it was close until it wasn't. That's probably the best way I can put it. One fight led to a Baron, which led to another fight, which led to more towers, and you're basically pinned back up into your base here as Rare Adam. So Top Esports just doing Top Esports things at 24 minutes. They're knocking on the door, Dagda.
I mean, and you can't even contest this Rare Adam. The end is trying to reset. iBoy is in mid lane trying to see if he can threaten the turret. Honestly, may actually be the best bet, but looks like he's maybe going to reset here as Top Esports start to back away. Surprised they're not willing to push this, but maybe not know where iBoy is. They're a little bit scared.
Capitalize. You know, when you're losing your inhibitor, go for Grom. That's what you've learned from this one here. But no, honestly, I completely agree. There's nothing really to gain in the such from Rare Adam. They kind of just have to let it go. But they didn't lose the inhibitor, so that's a nice thing to see.
Yeah, Wayward had reset, so iBoy pulls off that. And actually, I think it was just a good bluff from iBoy. So Top Esports assumed, oh, iBoy's out of vision, he's probably reset, so it'll be a 4 versus 5 fight, let's not take a fight. So iBoy goes a step further and goes, well, if yous are going to reset, I've got time to take your entire topside jungle, and then that gives me a little bit more time to get things like the Zeal. But unfortunately, this Kalista is kind of giving up her time here. She doesn't have a huge amount left here, as just getting a replay here of the kill from Knight.
Yeah, that was the solo kill he got around the red buff, just TP'd in. Leyen was not expecting him, but again, we talk about the differences between a good team and a great team all the time, but it's those opportunities that you just create for yourself. No other team will look for that TP flying, but Cube now going to be forced to go into the Undying Rage and spin to win. More like spin to keep himself alive because he is in a lot of... Whoa! Not quite able to hit it there, but Jackie Love with the whirling death is very prevalent and very scary at all times.
And now Top Esports just get to siege up once more. They're in a perfectly fine spot. GA completed for Jackie Love, so he's perfectly fine to play a little bit more aggressive than, I mean, he already has been, which is a slightly terrifying prospect for anyone on Rare Adam. Yeah, he's a bit of a monster. Wayward, undeterred in the top side, just going to be able to take down an inhibitor, so it's going to be another pressure point now available to Top Esports. Rare Adam going to try and survive this one here. I will say for Rare Adam, you're already on soul points. You've got 3 dragons. No real soul available for Top Esports for a very long time, over 10 minutes, so you're not really worried about that. It's also a cloud soul, not the most detrimental in the world, but you got to figure out if you can even survive this push right now. Wayward is in Mega, but should be going to Mini soon, so keeps himself safe. And it's just going to be easy for them to kind of walk forward with this one here. There it is, yep, you pop down the ultimate there. Yanja gets taken over, goes a little bit berserk. He needs to be careful here. You're going to be able to try and get Knight over the wall, jumping onto Lei, and they steal away the Curse of Sap Money, and Top Esports are just running them down. Oh, that's a great engage, though.
It is indeed. They're going to try and make this one work. Sienna's already fallen down. They're going to try and keep iBoy alive in this one here. Needs to reset, though. He's not got the greatest of health bars. Knight keeps the stolen Amumu ult. They do lose 1 for none.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Berserk birthday cake is not the deadliest in this scenario, as Yanja flung himself in. It got onto several people, but unfortunately, nobody on Rare Adam really willing to follow up with that engage. So Top Esports kind of shrug it off, take the inhibitor. That's 2 down now for Top, as all they have to do now is reset, look for Dragon, rotate onto this bottom side, and look to take that last inhibitor. You can honestly even have the Wayward just start to push in this mid lane as well, make sure that he's in trouble. But I mean, you can see here, Yanja, this is actually a great engage coming through from him. Like, hits all the targets that he needs to, but iBoy already half health, then dead.
Yep, there it is. The Whirling Death comes out on the backside of that one. Jackie Love says thank you for the 606, and he's going to keep pushing forward because they know they've got the pressure as Knight gets another solo kill in this game. He is just so damn good. 14 stacks on the Medjais, and he's stealing all of RA's souls.
We all know Knight is an avid reader, and those pages are definitely being filled very, very quickly, as now Top Esports stand in front of the Nexus turrets, willing Rare Adam to come out.
Tien, here you go. We're going to take away the Kalista ultimate to throw you straight in. He immediately jumps in with the cease and desist. He's going to end up having to go down, though, for his dribble. He does have the bailout, so if they can get a kill, they can reset it, but they don't quite get it. You can see Cube trying to do something, but sadly, I'm going to call a spade a spade. This Tryndamere has basically been nothing this entire game. Now the Nexus turrets are starting to fall. Top Esports, 28 minutes. They're going to be able to take down RA. RA, you tried, but sadly, the execution just wasn't with you.
No, I mean, look, Top Esports will try to pad the stats here. The Nexus falls, and for Rare Adam, it felt like they had the tools that they needed to try and get that game into their favor, but no real action from the end. Strive and Cube weren't able to push their advantage.